Hey there, I hope you all are doing well. Hopefully, we are finally getting back to normal around here. Um, so, I'm sorry that there was no video for this past week between the hurricane and then I was on jury duty for a couple of days. It was a bit impossible to get it done. So, here we are, we're back. I'll start by saying, of course, I hope everyone is safe. I've heard from a lot of you. I know we have varying degrees of storm damage, flooding, power outage time, internet outage time, etc. I'm working with students who need extensions and need help. If you haven't gotten in touch with me and you do need some extra time or you need some assistance with catching up, please let me know. Um, to that end, a couple things I want to mention. First of all, with the Connect assignments, please remember that any Connect assignments submitted after the deadline will automatically populate with a 0 in the gradebook, but I will fix it. Unfortunately, I am currently so behind on grading. It is going to be sometime next week, so I'm sorry that those are sitting there like that. What I have to do basically is go in for each student, look at every assignment, check the progress, and then go plug it back in. So it does take a little while, and I'm going to try to do it all at one time. Ideally on Tuesday. We'll see if that happens. It will happen. We'll see if it happens on Tuesday. Let me rephrase that. Um, first off, I had a couple questions about Turnitin. I take for granted that students have used Turnitin in English 111, and I should have addressed this, so I apologize. So Turnitin is plagiarism detection software, but seeing a small percentage of match does not necessarily indicate that there is a problem with your paper, okay? I do have Turnitin set up so that you can see your own originality report and resubmit if necessary. I know sometimes that doesn't necessarily work correctly. If you ever go in to see your report and you can't see it, let me know and I can fix that for you. So Turnitin shows matches. So if you have a sentence that appeared somewhere else, a paragraph that appeared somewhere else. Now, in theory, you can have some small matches, right? If you are writing your essay on screen time, you and someone else may have said screen time is a problem for our generation or something like that, right? That's a phrase that many people could potentially write. The problem comes in when you have full sentences or areas where you clearly haven't paraphrased fully. Anytime you've actually, taken material for somewhere else and presented it for your own. So if you're having trouble with quoting and paraphrasing, Turnitin can be useful for you to go back and check your work with. I have you submit both to Turnitin and to the assignment link because it's easier for me to grade through the assignment link, and sometimes there will be some little glitches with Turnitin, so I want us to always have that fail-safe in place. So, wrapping up the science writing assignment, I know some of you needed additional time, and I will get these things graded as quickly as I can. I'm struggling, along with a lot of you, to get back in the swing of things. I will give feedback on these. I know some of you are worried about citation, other issues. Don't worry, I will address it if it needs to be addressed. Some people are worried about length. Please don't worry about length requirements. Worry about content. Make sure you have good content and that you've addressed the assignment thoroughly. That's more important than meeting a length requirement. So we're wrapping up our work in the sciences, and now we're going to be moving into the social sciences, things like sociology, psychology, and the big assignment for our social science section is an observation report in which you will observe something and you will write up a report about it. I know, really clever, right? An observation report. And part of this report is going to include a literature review. And a literature review is, some of you may have run across this doing your research, is when you look at the literature available about a particular topic and you sum it up. And it is a review of the literature. That said, you should not pick sources and then go through and summarize each one. A literature review is organized by points rather than by the articles themselves. And I've given you some they're handouts, but I'm not handing them to you. They're electronic. I've given you some digital documents that will help walk you through that process a little bit. I especially like NC State University's literature review matrix, which gives you a nice visual way to organize the information for a literature review. So, students have done all kinds of fun observation reports. I had a student some years back do one on differences in behavior in particular demographics of people engaging in multiplayer online gaming. I've had students look at behavior in different religious environments. So maybe, going to a church outside your denomination, or a religious gathering outside your religion. I've had students observe military graduations, other kind of formal events. I've had students observe student interactions in areas on a campus. Students observe parents' behavior at their kids' little league games. So there are a whole lot of things, and a lot of these have dealt with behavior, but there are other things that you can observe, of course. And with the observation report, it's nice to start with some kind of a question. Whether you question how people act at a certain event, or maybe what makes them do that, and then that can help drive the research you do for that literature review. So get started with thinking about it. We're going to begin the literature review this week. It will be due at the end of week 7, which will be October 5th. Somehow we're already staring down October. I don't know how. I mean, you have one hurricane and all of a sudden you're halfway through fall. Not really. We haven't even gotten good and started yet. But anyway, so start thinking about what you want to observe for your observation report. And if you're having trouble figuring out what to research for your literature review, we can certainly talk about that. I'm glad to. I'll go a little bit more in depth with the observation report next week, but I wanted to go ahead and plant the idea in your head and get you going that way. So that's really it. It seems funny to not have more to say than that after such a long time away. Again, I hope y'all are doing well. I'm sorry about all of the shuffling with the hurricane, but I hope everybody's able to get back on track. I'm just thankful that maybe we'll be resuming some kind of normalcy next week. So I'll be grading as much and as quickly as I can. As always, if you need help, let me know, and you all have a great weekend. Take care.